After 53 wins this season, Mike Woodson knows his boys can't take the Bucks for granted.
This is what it's all about, man. We might not ever get this opportunity again, so you got to play lights out.
They would do exactly that. Joe Johnson alley-oop feed for Josh Smith. Meanwhile, Jamal Crawford, his first playoff game, taking it to the cup. The Hawks had 34 points in the paint in the opening half. Then off another Milwaukee turnover, Johnson with the easy deuce. The Bucks would not recover from falling behind by 17 after the first quarter, but we're going to give it up to Brandon Jennings. His double nickel versus the Warriors in November was a single game high in the NBA this season. The Rook was a one-man show in the first half of this one. He had 20 points, and he kept it going in the third. Jennings netted 34. He was just 2 points shy of Derrick Rose's record for a rookie in his playoff debut. That was set last season. Unfortunately, the Hawks still won, so Jennings' big game is all for naught. No one's really given the Bucks a chance in this series, but they were pretty solid in the second half. They outscored the Hawks 52-40 after halftime.
The Bucks back in the A Tuesday night trying to avoid a two-game hole to start their first-round series against the Hawks. Brandon Jennings dropped 34 in Game 1, hoping to outduel the Hawks' primary threat and leading scorer, Joe Johnson, on this night. To the highlights we go. Luke Bamute is going to lay it in. 14-10 ball game in the early goings. But the Hawks will get an advantage thanks to some great defense. They were blocking everything left and right. Al Horford. Then it's Josh Smith. This one here would lead to points on the other end. Marvin Williams with the throwdown. Hawks with 8 blocks in the game. Horford with 3 of those. Still in the first. Jay Smoot on the break. He's going to break you off something proper. Rocking the rim. More from him later. Ersan Ilyasova, meanwhile, stroking the 3. Ties the game at 30 apiece. Later in the second, Mike Bibby, the big fella, Horford, down low, had himself a night. Hawks out by 7. Then it's Bibby to Joe Johnson. Bottoms there. Hawks leading by 6 at that point. Second half we go. Bibby continuing to share, and it's smooth. From the baseline, it's good. On the other end, the Bucks counting on Brandon Jennings for another big night, and he was cold as they come. Nothing but iron. The rookie, 3 of 15 from the floor, just 9 points following his 34 in the opener. This one, well in hand at this point, 73-57, and Josh Smith's going to go and do stuff like that. Just mean. 21 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. Almost messed around and got a triple-double. John Salmons doing what he could for his team. Got the Bucks within single digits after trailing by 19. He had 21, but the Hawks, too hot to hold, too much to handle. Joe Johnson, for 3. 27 on the night for him, and of course, it's the big fella, Horford. How about 20 and 10 for the first-time All-Star? And there is a faceful. Hawks open a best-of-7 playoff series 2-0 for the first time since 1970 as they take a commanding lead into Milwaukee for Game 3 on Saturday.
At the Bradley Center, Joe Johnson, well, he had a nice night. Brandon Jennings, the kid, all loose and ready to go.
Ready to go.
Not bothering him, this playoff
Home
basketball. Cooking. Brandon Jennings right away, the 3. Bang.
Money ball.
13 in the game, and it's a 7-point Milwaukee lead. Brandon Jennings now to John Salmons, also had a nice game.
Yeah, Milwaukee's been needing his scoring. He's been giving the Hawks fits all year long, talking about Salmons. 17-5 Milwaukee racing to a lead. Joe Johnson fights his way to the lane. Hook shot and the foul. He did miss the free throw. 8-point Milwaukee lead. And Joe's going to show up. I mean, he's their anchor there. He's their all-star, and he actually showed up to play.
In transition, Jerry Stackhouse.
A sighting, a Carolina sighting. Carolina sighting.
Now in the second quarter, recovering the loose ball, Joe Johnson, the floater in the lane. Finished with a game-high 25 points. But look at Milwaukee, 38-25 out in front. Brandon Jennings, again, driving.
This is a rookie. Come on. Marvin, somebody get over there and get some weak side help. Come on, 2 plays back to back.
Runs a give and go with Salmons. Man, they're running everything.
No weak side help. Come on, Hawks.
50-33 Milwaukee.
They got everything seems downhill. They got it going, and it's all downhill.
Yeah, there it is. And the Hawks trying to get their way back, but it was not to be.
Delfino in the corner. When we get
Carlos
him
Delfino. 64-47 Milwaukee. Josh Smith missing the little floater in the lane. Through 3 quarters, Atlanta was shooting 32% from the field.
Well, they wasn't shooting the ball well. As you see, Simons not getting that last 3-pointer. They wasn't playing defense together at all.
And where's the physicality? At this point now.
Oh,
Come on, take one. Take a hard foul, Marvin.
Stackhouse from Jennings, 76-57 off the inbounds. Luke Ridnour. Sure.
Come on, Zaza.
Want a basket?
That couldn't happen back in the day, right, Rick?
No, this is the playoffs, not Summer League.
Hey, Ridnour again. He's feeling it now.
That's a deep money ball.
Long 3-pointer. This was not close.
Oh, wait a minute. The rookie's dancing.
He sure was. 107-89. And you can see that we had 6 Bucks players in double figures in the game, led by Salmons, who had 22. Johnson, as we said, showed up, but this is a tough one for Atlanta. Really, they needed to come out there and make some sort of a statement rather than resign themselves to the fact that, you know what, we could drop this one.
With a chance to take a 3-0 series lead their last time out, the Hawks didn't show up, and the Bucks made them pay for it with an 18-point drubbing on Saturday. Well, Monday, the Bucks hope to catch ATL sleeping once again and even the series of 2 games apiece. To the highlights we go. Early on, Mike Bibby with the stroke. He knocks down the triple. He had 15 in the ball game. Later in the quarter, Carlos Delfino. Man, he added work in this one. To the cup he goes and jams on Josh Smith and Zaza Pachulia. Nasty. Meanwhile, it's Delfino. Corner 3, 13 points in the opening quarter. He was doing that all night long. Brandon Jennings doing this all evening, making his way to the bucket. He lays it in. Bucks out by 5, 43-38. Hawks shooting it. Jamal Crawford knocks in the 3-ball. He had 21 on the night. On the other end, it's Delfino. Did I mention he was shooting 3-ball pretty well? Yeah. Knocks another one down. He's going crazy. His team only up by 4, though. But they're turning defense into offense. It's Jennings with the steal. Kind of an awkward finish, but still gets it to go as we head to the third. Joe Johnson trying to get his team back in it, trailing by 8. He hits the fadeaway. 29 big ones in the game for him. The Bucks would respond. The rookie, Jennings, soft touch off the glass. Bucks pull ahead by 10 at this point, and they're still coming. Ersan Ilyasova sees the 3. He bees the 3. Guys are out of their seats, and they'd stay out of their seats. Damn, guys are each. None of that, sir. The big fella with the defense. This one not blocked, though. Josh Smith off the glass, 20 points and 9 rebounds for him. Bucks lead down to 6 late in the fourth. Delfino continuing to stroke. His 6th tray of the night. Finished with 22 in the game. Brandon Jennings, 23 for him. Also 6 assists. Bucks back in business after trailing 2 games to none. They've won 2 straight to even the series. Headed back to Atlanta Wednesday for Game 5.
It's Game 5 of the Hawks-Bucks series, first round Eastern Conference playoff action, tied at 2 apiece. Each squad has won 2 on their home court. Game 5 in Atlanta, where Jamal Crawford, prior to the game, was awarded the 6th Man of the Year award. Hey, how about that? First quarter action outside the kid. Brandon Jennings dialing up a triple and nailing it. Milwaukee up 14-13. Jennings again adding to it, 16-13 now. He went for 12 straight points for the Bucks. Later in the first quarter, it's Joe Johnson hooking up with Marvin Williams. And Marvin Williams, slick move here in the 2 games in Milwaukee. Marvin totaled just 12 points, but he got going much better in Atlanta tonight. Later in the first, Look at Zaza Pachulia play tackle football with Brandon Jennings. That's a flagrant one. Tough foul from Pachulia, but Brandon Jennings gets up. He's a gamer. He had 16 points in the first half. Milwaukee hanging tough in Atlanta. Less than 5 seconds to go in the half. Look at Al Horford track down the pass, knock down the baseline jumper. Atlanta goes up by 3 at the half. Horford, 11 of 21 from the field. And we move into the second half. And in that second half, Joe Johnson starting to show his game, driving baseline and just throwing this one down. Atlanta up by a pair, 52-50. Then Josh Smith and John Salmons bumping heads there. Now, Josh Smith, as you watch the replay, had to leave the game, go get a little medical attention, but he would return, and that's big for the Atlanta Hawks, of course. Later in the third, it's Marvin Williams driving all the way to the hole. Look at Marvin go. A playoff career-high 22 points for Marvin. And speaking of getting going, that's Al Horford. He also had a playoff career high. He had 25 points. And it's Ersan Ilyasova falling down on the court, slick move up and over Al Horford and Joe Johnson. We're in the fourth quarter now. Hawks up by 8. Make it 10. That's Josh Smith arriving at the cup with authority. Hawks up 73-63. Later, behind the back, Luke Ridnour slipped to Carlos Delfino. Back over to Ridnour, who had 15 off the bench. In Milwaukee, closing the gap. They're down 4 now, 77-73 with less than 6 to go. Less than 5 now. Jamal Crawford outside, drills the 3. He was just 4 of 18 from the field, though that didn't help Atlanta's efforts. They're up by 7, though. Less than 4 to go. It's John Salmons outside, knocking down the long three-pointer. He had 19 on the night. Hawks up by 1, just over 2 minutes to go. It's Crawford again, but it's a charge on Atlanta before Crawford could get the shot off. And on the other end, Ersan Ilyasova inside. Beautiful move from Ilyasova. Then Brandon Jennings missing. Look at the hustle, though. It's Ilyasova saving it out of bounds, and then Carlos Delfino in the corner, nailing the triple. The Bucks go up by 4 at that point. They go on to win it by 4 on the road in Atlanta. 91-87, your final. The Bucks can close out the Hawks on Friday night. They're up 3-2 in this series.
Let's show you the highlight right now, how the Hawks won Game 6 over the Milwaukee Bucks to stay alive and force that Game 7 coming up Sunday afternoon here in Atlanta at Phillips Arena. And let's take a look at this highlight right now.
Sing it! Sing it! Oh, who is that masked man dancing that white suit?
Wow, Dennis, you just went from elated and kind of psyched to Stackhouse to totally buzzkilled by Bogut's suit.
Yeah, Bogut, go have a seat, cuz.
This is Ilyasova putting it in. Milwaukee down only 1 in the first quarter. Then Jerry Stackhouse, part of a 9-0 run for the Milwaukee Bucks. They led 19-16.
Jerry Stackhouse making those plays. I think isolation is very effective.
Jamal Crawford did not have a huge first half, only 7 points in the first half, 3 of 7 from the field, but hits the 3 right there, Atlanta by 6. Speaking of money balls.
Money ball, big time by Delfino.
He's not done.
Oh, yeah. Again?
He's not done.
He didn't.
Yeah, he hit 2 in a row.
Did. Not 3, he bet not. Money ball again.
Delfino was nice in this game. 20 points, 4 threes. And then it's John Salmons, the mid-range game in full effect.
He's been butter all year since the trade.
Philly's finest.
15-2 run for the Bucks, and we head to the third quarter. Mike Bibby knocks that one down. Bibby 4 of 9, 10 points. Got more run than Marvin Williams in this basketball game. Then Josh Smith the steal.
First down and 1.
And he would head to the line and miss the free throw. And Smith taunting the crowd for booing him right there. And a replay here. Break this down, Eric.
It's just pure strength. I mean, sometimes if you can't get your hands on him, you can't, stop him from getting the shot off. You got to let him go. As you can see right here, Atlanta Hawks is picking up their defense. This third quarter was tough for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, it was. 29-11. The Hawks outscored the Bucks in the third quarter. Joe Johnson right here, right off the elbow. It is good. Part of a 19-0 run for Atlanta. They led 50-36. Back comes Young Buck.
Young Bucks getting excited. Looked like Brandon Jennings might have been done for the game, but bounced back.
He sure did. And the Bucks within 12. Jamal Crawford right here heating up.
That's just tough, too tough of a cover. He's going to play pick-and-roll basketball out there, and you're giving him that much space. But you can't give Jerry Stackhouse the space either.
4-point play for Stack, part of a 10-0 run for the Bucks, and we had a 9-point game, but this was really the ultimate dagger. Jamal Crawford, way too easy, right down Main Street there in Milwaukee, and the Hawks go on to win 83-69.
Game 5 late in the fourth quarter. Hawks settled for jump shots tonight, taking the ball to the rim. Kirk Thomas too late to rotate for the charge like he did for Joe Johnson. 6 fouls. Jamal gets all the way to the basket.
The only first-round playoff series to go the full length, 7 games. It's decision day in Atlanta. Hawks taking on the Bucks for the right to head down to Orlando and visit the Magic. Brandon Jennings and Joe Johnson before the game. During the game, this is number 3, 4-3. Brandon Jennings just pulling up over Marvin Williams and knocking it down, tying it at 11 each. Jennings had 15 points. Then the Hawks turned to their leader. It was not a great day for Joe Johnson, but he gets this one to go. Nice little up and under move. Hawks tied at 13 apiece. Later, Atlanta hustling and in the corner, finding Jamal Crawford. He misses, but there's Marvin Williams with the rebound and tip in, and the Hawks going on a run. Nice block from Al Horford. He recovers the loose ball. Going the other way, Jamal Crawford looking and sharing on the other end with Al Horford. Reward your big man. Hawks go on an 18-3 run, but back come the Bucks. This is Brandon Jennings. Slick move behind the back, right around Mike Bibby. That cuts the lead down to 9. Take another look. The rookie is a sensation. Second quarter, Joe Johnson looking outside and finding Mike Bibby, who is alone for 3. He was 3 of 5 from range on the day. Hawks up 45-29. We move you to the second half. Marvin Williams finding Josh Smith in the corner. He hadn't been taking the threes much this year, but knocks that one down. He was 1 of 1. That's good. That's what the Hawks want. 1-3 from Josh Smith. Later in the third, inside, Zaza Pachulia missing, Marvin Williams missing. Bucks get the rebound and the run out, and it's Brandon Jennings one more time. But look at the Hawks defense. They had 8 blocks on the day. This one courtesy of Joe Johnson. Later in the third, 2 minutes to go in the quarter, Jamal Crawford finding space just outside of the free throw line. He knocks down the jump shot. He had 22 points on the day. Then it's the Hawks hustling. They don't get the ball. Brandon Jennings picks it up and finds Luke Rittenauer for the triple. That cuts the lead down to 14, 71-57. Then it's Brandon Jennings working on Al Horford all the way to the rack, but Josh Smith with the block. Hawks on the run out. Jamal Crawford sharing with Joe Johnson for the easy little layup, and the Hawks open up a 16-point advantage. Less than 5 to go in the game. Joe Johnson in the corner. Jamal Crawford one more time, dialing up a 3. The Hawks go up by 20 at that point, 89-69. They go on to win this one by 21, 95-74. Your final. Hawks dominated this one all game long. The Bucks shoot just 33% from the field, and now Atlanta advances. They head on to Orlando to meet the Magic in round 2.